What's up, y'all? It's Marcus Frazier from Teachable Tuesdays, here to motivate you, encourage you, and inspire you to be a better you. Would like to welcome you to a Teachable Tuesdays Long Car Chronicles episode 51. My apologies. There has not been many episodes up as of lately. Your boy been slacking. That is my fault. But I'm going to try to get back on the road with these videos more consistently because you guys apparently seem to like these, and I'm kind of shocked that you just want to see me sitting in the car and talking for a little bit of time. I'm pretty sure that some of you guys listening to this is background noise, and hey, look, regardless of what you listen to this as, I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate your input. I appreciate you just, even if it's only for 3 or 4 minutes before you turn the video off, you just, kind of dial it in with me for a second, right? Today, I want to talk about why your standards matter when it comes to dating and why you should stick to those standards. But I'm gonna put an asterisk next to it because a lot of times when I bring up standards, people often jump into what I like to call the Luluville, right? And the reason why I say it's the Luluville is for the simple fact that, we say, oh, these are my standards and so on and so forth. But sometimes your standards can be a bit unrealistic. And if your standards are unrealistic, what ends up happening is you kind of mess it up for yourself, right? And when I say standards, this is what I mean. It's the difference between standards and hardcore requirements. Standards are things that you would desire in a relationship, at least at the fundamental level. But when you have hard requirements, those are what I like to call non-negotiables that are so far gone that you have to really ask yourself, is this worth it, right? And I'll give you an example of the two just to give you an idea. So a standard for you might be, hey, I want to date someone that is not in contact with their ex-boyfriends or ex-girlfriends. I think that's fair. That's fair because when you think about it, your relationship should not involve anyone from your past, right? Or their past. It needs to be a fresh, clean slate for the both of y'all. An example of an unrealistic expectation or standard in the relationship is, I want to date a guy who is only 6 feet and up, and you're not even 6 feet. Or I want to date a woman that has no kids, but you got kids. To me, I think those are some very much unfair expectations and unrealistic standards, right? So now that we've outlined the difference between the two and also really fully understanding of thereof, let's talk about why it's important to keep your mind right when it comes to having your standards and what you feel like you believe. Now, I think on the realistic side, whatever you set for yourself is what you should keep. Notice, please notice, please notice that I said realistically. So I'm going to give you a guy scenario and I'm going to give you a lady scenario. Let's say you're a guy and the 3 things that you desire out of a woman for dating is one, and I'm going to keep the baseline the same for one of them for each. You don't want them talking to any exes, right? Or in cahoots with any exes, even quote unquote as friends, because if you have a friend that's an ex, it's not going to work. Number 2, you don't have any kids, so you'll prefer a woman that doesn't have kids. And number 3, you would like to date somebody that's actually in your state, right? Doesn't have to be in your city, but at the very least your state, no matter how big your state is. I think those are very realistic expectations, and I think you should stick to those. Because the second that you deviate from those and it doesn't make sense, that's when problems arise, right? Let's say you meet a woman that has kids. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with dating a woman that has kids, but if you want to stay fresh, then if you were to date a woman that has kids, you'll be settling. And before all the single mamas jump in my face and be ready to, knock me out, just bear with me, right? Whatever you set in motion, I'm not saying can't change, But what I am saying is the things that you set in motion you should try to keep that emotion as much as you possibly can. Because oftentimes, the first choice is the choice that you want, right? It's kind of like you taking a test. You know how they say, there's a reason why they say use process of elimination during the test. Because oftentimes, your first choice probably was the best choice, regardless if it's the right or wrong answer. If you were reading through a test thoroughly and in a very meticulous manner, you would understand that the choice you picked it because you were most confident in that choice. Well, that same thing applies to people, right? If you pick that man or that woman initially without giving it too much of a second thought, it's probably because deep down inside you actually genuinely desired that person. Now let's go to the lady side, right? Let's look at the ladies. Let's say you're a lady, you meet a man, and you're like, all right, he can't. I ain't got no kids, so I want him to have no kids. Bet. He has to be someone who's a believer. Bet. Okay. He also has to be someone who is, at least working towards something, even if he doesn't have it all together. Now, obviously, number 3 is a given. Should be a given. I don't think anybody should get with anybody if they're not working towards something positive. As far as the kids things, okay, and I understand, like, ladies are how can I say this? Ladies are a lot more nurturing. I'm trying to figure out the word. Ladies are a lot more nurturing than guys are. Even still, if you don't want to marry a man that don't got kids, or marry a man that don't got kids. You know what I'm saying? If you don't got kids of your own. You want to marry a man who's a believer, don't settle for a man who's not a believer. Now, granted, I will say this, and, R.I.P. to my Uncle Edwin, and R.I.P. to Pop. Both my aunt and my grandmother married men that were not believers, and they were believers, /are. Well, Aunt Tanya are, grandma was, because she's passed away, may she rest in peace too. But things can get a bit more complicated when you're not equally yoked, right? And that's the next point that I'm going to tie into as well. Equal yoking. It's very important, and I cannot stress this enough, to be equally yoked with your partner. And a lot of times, I know when we talk about the Bible and being equally yoked, we do talk about it from a spiritual standpoint. And that is true. The spiritual aspect plays a huge part in that. I'm not even going to sit here in front. However, and I'm going to put a big old capital H-O-W, ever, in that. It goes far beyond the reaches of being spiritual. It's also mental. It's also emotional. It's also connection. It's also ideals, values, principles, morals. All of this you find out while you're in the process of getting to know someone. If I do not want to be with a woman, oh, I'm sorry. I started that wrong. My bad. If my standard is I don't want to date a woman who still communicates with her exes. Granted, I get it. The extreme circumstances, if she has kids with the guy, that's a whole different conversation, right? But if that's a desire of mine, why would I talk to a woman that's still entertaining her exes? Even if she's quote unquote friends with them, right? She could be, oh, there's no hard feelings, I'm just friends with them. No, I'm not going to entertain that. And the reason why I'm not going to entertain that is because let's keep it $1.50, right? I'm not going to entertain that because what you don't realize is, at one point in time, even if you weren't intimate with your ex, you still thought that he was it at one point, or could have been it. And I don't know about you, but I'm not involving anyone in my life that used to be potentially it. You know, people be like, well, Marcus, what if you only went on 2 or 3 dates and y'all weren't official? Doesn't matter. Because how fair is that to my person? It's not fair. It's not fair under any circumstances at all. So I wouldn't do that to the next person. Oh, Marcus, you're being overly considerate. It's not called being overly considerate. It's about doing unto others what you would want done to yourself. And if that person's not willing to do what you set forth, then you go ahead and find somebody else who will. Message. Just saying, right? If I don't want to date someone who is not a believer, why would I date someone who's a believer? Let me tell you something. And I've said this on this channel before 1,000,001 times. I had a woman who, to this day, is probably one of the best women I've ever dated. To this day. And I'm glad that things didn't work out between us. You want to know why? She wasn't a believer. And that's okay. She was there in my life as a lesson to show me that there are still good women out there after having probably one of the worst heartbreaks that I've had in my life. Sometimes God will put people in your life, even in an unconventional manner, to show you He's still looking out for you. That woman literally restored my ability to believe in love. Because I was done, y'all. I was done. I had it. I said, you know what? I'm about to be player. I had to sing that with my soul. Your boy was about to be out in the streets permanently. Bachelor's life. Did not care who I came across. Did not care who I hurt in the way of getting what I wanted. But yet, I had somebody who literally restored my faith in love and showed me, yeah, Marcus, there are still women out there, you know, and I feel like that was God's way of saying, hey, hold your horses. I don't want you wilding out in these streets, champ. I got you. Just trust my process. I got you. Everything is going to be worth it. So if you wonder why I still believe in love, in spite of me being hurt and still getting hurt to this day, it's because of that one individual. I was so confused. Sorry. Anyways, but yeah, like that's just what it is. And if I could say that about somebody who just treated me top-notch right, shouldn't you say the same thing? Ooh, Marcus Reed. There's just certain things that we have to realize ain't gonna fly. Ladies, if you know you can't be with a man who is not working towards something, why are you settling for the guy who ain't working towards anything? Well, Marcus, that's because he makes me feel away. He ain't making you feel no way. Well, okay, let me stop lying. He is making you feel away. He making you feel away, all right. This ain't no Jill Scott. This is the way. Nah. Shout out Jill Scott, by the way. You love me, baby. No. He make you feel away inside because of physically what he doing to you. But you know he ain't working towards nothing. And let me make something perfectly clear, ladies. That don't mean go for the safe guy either, knowing that you really don't want him. Let me just go ahead and put that out there. Don't do it. You're going to waste your time and his time. Why would you go for that? Oh, he got an edge. All right. That edge gonna put you in the edge, push you off the edge, towards the edge. Don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head. If you ain't never heard that song, check it out. Fellas! Oh, you thought you were safe. Shawty got a nice body. Body banging, body on 10. Body yada yada, all that good stuff. But you want a woman that displays some consistency. But she popping in and out of your life like Gap Band. Can't keep running in and out of my life. That's what she doing. But yeah, you still making excuses for her because she got a nice body or the you know what good. I ain't gonna say it on this channel, but you know what I'm referring to. Yeah, we getting real personal today. Ladies and gentlemen, stop lowering your expectations just because people got this one outstanding trait that causes you not to see past the bigger picture. Or see the bigger picture, I'm sorry. Stop it. I've been there. I have to tell myself that. Since we being transparent and honest on this channel here, I still got to tell myself that. Marcus, she not ready for a relationship, but you are. Why are you still messing with her, champ? Marcus, she's still friends with her exes. Why are you still entertaining her, champ? Marcus, she got kids. And again, there's nothing wrong with women or men that have kids, but you ain't got kids, Marcus. Why are you entertaining that, champ? I know some of y'all thinking I'm wild today. I'm just having a good time, y'all. I just like talking. I like giving my thoughts. And I know I'm wild and I'm joking around, but I'm also being like semi-serious. Stop lowering your standards just because they physically look attractive. Stop lowering your standards just because they know how to put it down in the bedroom. Shouldn't be putting nothing down with nobody anyway. You should be waiting till marriage. I'm talking to myself too. If you feel like I'm judging you, I ain't judging you. I'm only doing this because I love you. Stop lowering the expectations just because you're lonely. I'm going to do a video about this. And I'm about to say, what I'm about to say about to be raw and uncut. I'm going to just straightforward and say it. You don't miss them. You ain't really lonely. You horny. Yeah, I done went there and I done said it. And I'm going to do a video on that real soon. You are not lonely. You do not miss them. Well, maybe you might be a little lonely. Let me not take that away from nobody. I refuse to do that. Sorry. You do not really want that person that you're entertaining. You just want some stuff to take place. Didn't think I was going to go there now, did you? That's what we do on these Teachable Tuesdays Long Car Rock Chronicles video. We get a little more up close and personal. You feel me? Because it's needed. Ladies and gentlemen, I love you. I care about you. But I care about you too much to not tell you the truth. We about to wrap this video up because I'm about to be at my destination. But guys, I can't stress this enough, y'all. Please, 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 for the love of the Most High, yeah, I need you to do me a favor today. If you've never done this before in your life, and I actually got to update my list, I need you to, when you go home, or if you're not already home, if you are home, I should say, make a list. What do you look for in a man or a woman? And I want you to, as you're making the list, before you even make the list, pray. Pray. God, as I'm making this list, I'm going to list the things I want, but I want you to reveal the things that I need. I'm going to say that one more time. As I'm making this list, I'm going to make the list of things that I want, but I want you to reveal the things that I need. And if you feel a little nudge as you're making the list, kind of like the Spirit said, no, don't do that, don't put that, then don't put it. You want to know why? Because that's his way of saying, you don't need that. You might say, I want this type of man, this type of woman. He might be like, nope. That might be what you want, but that ain't what you need. That ain't what I got for you. Lord, I want a light-skinned woman with tattoos. Shout out to my LB. Married a dark-skinned woman with no tattoos that he absolutely adores, and she adores him times infinity. I'm gonna marry me a black or Hispanic woman. That's me. Watch God mess around and I marry an Asian woman. Which I ain't got nothing against Asian women, by the way. Because anybody tells me, yeah, I would love to marry a black or Hispanic woman, but I'm gonna marry whatever woman God be like, hey, son, over here, I got you. And when you're done with that list, pray over that list. And don't be too hyper dependent on it. The reason why I say don't be too hyper dependent on the list is because, just keeping it real, that list can change. When I tell you so many of my expectations have changed over time, because I'll give you an example. I used to not mind marrying a woman with one kid at the very least. Now, it's no kids for me. Because I'm getting older and I'm at the point where if I want to have a kid still, I need to start fresh. It's no knock on anybody else's list. That's just a part of my list. You feel me? So, all in all, guys, just think about that, right? Think about your standards. Think about your expectations. Make sure your expectations and your standards are not above what I like to call your pay grade. Because sometimes, ooh, Jesus, okay, you just doing the most. Sometimes your standards, it can really be above your pay grade, and it's not a good look. You feel where I'm coming from? I'm going to be real. Sometimes our standards or our way of doing things are way too high, and then we wonder why we don't really get what we desire. It ain't that we can't get it. It's more so we have to be real about where we're at. And ladies, this especially goes out to you, because I think a lot of times men do a pretty decent job. I ain't gonna say all men, but most men I've come across have done a pretty decent job at understanding, okay, this is kind of where I'm at. Let me play the playing field for where I'm at. And that's not to say that there's anything wrong with being confident. Confidence in a man or a woman is amazing. But it's also not being privileged. And there are, unfortunately, some women out here that are kind of privileged. They believe, oh, I should have this, I should have that just because I'm pretty. You may be pretty, but is your attitude pretty? Is your soul pretty? You look clean, but your soul ain't clean. You got a big booty, but you got a small heart. And fellas, the same thing goes for you. You know what I'm saying? Looking at you and how you view things. You got a good mat game, but when's the last time you picked up your Bible? Yeah, you've been focused on, making that money, but have you been focused on your family? Yeah, you've been focused on, talking to multiple women, but have you been focused on going to therapy? Whew. I know that's going to smack some people right in front of the face. I'm just being real with y'all today, y'all. I'm keeping it real. I'm being honest because I need you guys to understand the importance of really not lowering whatever you got going on just because. please. All right? And we're going to wrap up this video here because I'm about to get my skate on to get some practice in. It's your boy Marcus Frazier from Teachable Tuesdays here to motivate you, encourage you, and inspire you to be better. Thank you so much for joining me today. Really, really appreciate you. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and we're going to get a little more uncut with these conversations because there's some things that most certainly need to be said. And I do this out of love. I don't want anybody to ever think I do this out of malicious intent. I do this because I really want you guys to be better, right? I'm aiming to be the best version I could be every day, and it would be an injustice to not want the same thing out of y'all who are watching. If you made it this far, you're amazing. Thank you so much. I'll check you guys on the flip side. Peace.